Welcome to CRG Live, live every Tuesday morning at 8
Sometime around
ish.
8-ish.
I'm Nathan Cavins. I'm a host and property manager here at CRG and for CRG Live. We have our panel as usual. We got Teresa and Holly and Kyle, all expertise in their respected fields. And we got a good show today. Today we're going to be focusing on first-time home buyers and some information and some myths around that, and just expand on that topic a little more so people know. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend? All that good stuff.
I'm sleepy. I think that whoever created series, your different series with all these different episodes, needs to be shot because Bridgerton has a new one out.
Yep.
I found it last night at 11 o'clock, and guess who was up till 2 o'clock? Because you can't quit watching. And it's just maddening because I kept saying, okay, I'm going to bed now.
All it is Cinderella.
This one is very Cinderella based.
Holly's a huge fan. I'll let her talk about it.
Yeah, I do. I love it. I watched it. I knew it was coming out. I was so upset because, last weekend we had, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we had the ice storm and we were going to be stuck in the home. And I was like, I really was hoping it would have came out last weekend because then I could have binge watched it and got it all done. Well, I didn't.
That binge watching gets us.
I hope my wife signed on late. I don't want her knowing about this.
I think I need to text her.
I mean, I'm sitting there watching it. I mean, Holly really enjoys it, and I will sit there and suffer through it for her benefit because she really likes it. I mean, she suffers through so much stuff of me, but I'm sitting there, working on the laptop, scrolling on the phone, doing things and stuff as the show's on, and then I catch myself putting my phone down and closing my laptop and kind of watching along.
It's kind of corny, kind of, make believe, but it's I don't know. I watch it.
That black lady, that's the matchmaker. She's a boss. She's an absolute boss. She just comes up with some creative stuff.
That's the queen.
No, not the queen. The other one.
Oh, her friend.
Yeah,
yes.
She is a boss.
Did you ever watch the one that was about the queen when she was young, Charlotte?
No.
I think like the first. It's probably
Queen.
first or
I think it's
second
like
season.
Queen. It might be called Queen Charlotte. So it was a spinoff,
Oh,
but
that's
it's
right, yeah.
it's about the queen when she was younger and how she kind of became the way she is.
Oh no.
It's really good.
Yeah, you can binge watch
Charlotte?
that now.
No, yay.
Yeah, look up Charlotte. I think it might be Queen Charlotte, but look it up.
We've seen every one of Taylor Sheridan's shows.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
That's Yellowstone.
I'm too far behind in that.
Me too.
I know it's probably good, but I cringe when I hear of like a show that I really haven't watched because I really haven't watched it at all. And then there's like 7 or 8 seasons and then certain spinoffs, and I just cringe starting a whole nother season.
Marshall is a spinoff of Yellowstone. It's one of the sons. And that's going to be fantastic. That's
my favorite son.
Yes.
See, well, we did we watched Big Bang, watched Young Sheldon, and now it's
I can't do it. It's
Georgie
the brother.
and Mandy.
Yeah,
Oh
Georgie's
God,
and
I
Mandy.
can't stand that show.
Well, it turned into way too much sitcom-y.
Where they laugh in the background.
Super annoying laugh track. I mean, it's cute, but I can't
It's
do
like
it.
if they would have done away with the laugh and made it like Young Sheldon and Big Bang, it'd be fine.
Did you ever get into Mobland?
No.
If you haven't seen Mobland, it's only got one.
Mobland? Yeah, I've seen Mobland.
Like,
yes.
that was one of the best performances by that dude I've ever seen.
Mayors of Kingston, Lioness,
and it's a good one.
Lionesses. I mean, all of his. We Googled all his, and we've watched them all now.
Did you guys get down on Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't-
So they just now came out with the new one,
Yeah.
which is not going to be a fight for the throne. It's about a night coming up during that time. very curious whether they can match the
House of the
The House
Dragon.
of Dragon. We did not care for
I
it.
did
Yeah.
not either. The
Yeah.
whole like sleeping with your family members.
It
and
was
stuff
just
like that was
weird. We never could get into it. We watched a couple episodes and we're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I fell asleep. And if I fall asleep during a show, I don't waste my time to rewatch
I
it.
fall asleep at every show. Even last night, I fall asleep.
I
Soon
fell
as
asleep.
I-
And
watching
then you
Bridgerton.
gotta go back and watch the
I
episode
don't.
again.
I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
I just.
Oh,
keep
I
She
going.
does.
No.
Oh, I do.
I just kick back in my chair, turn the heat on my chair, put the blanket over me. Cody sits on my lap, and it's like, as soon as all of those puzzle pieces put together, I'm out. And then David will say, babe, how's that? Did you see that? Did you like what just happened? Yeah, babe. Yeah, babe.
You know, he was here yesterday. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
He was here yesterday, and he was giving me crap about this babe thing because I was on the phone with Holly. And I was like, shut up. You do the same thing. He's like, I know.
So you've never watched Game of Thrones?
I've watched it. It's
Okay.
just not
your thing.
something.
She's
I've
not a
watched all of
super
them.
fantasy type.
No.
It's a little too fantasy for her.
Yeah,
Like she likes the medieval things.
kind of.
A
That's
little
not my
bit.
time period.
No,
you know,
no,
I don't
no.
like the Renaissance time.
So you didn't really like
period.
Outlander.
And no, I didn't even finish watching it.
Yeah.
And I don't go to those events, and I've just never have liked that time period.
See, I don't necessarily like it, but for me, dragons.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm a
there's
big fan of
manly
dragons.
parts
Yeah.
to it, you know. So, and that ain't me.
See, but we always
I
like.
like it before. I like it before.
Just keep it tilted up.
I can. It just. Sorry, it's my first day on the job. Anyway,
I like Lord of the Rings. Like we did Lord of the Rings. We like Harry Potter.
I didn't like Lord of the
Hobbit.
Rings either. I liked Harry Potter. I liked that whole series. I didn't like Lord of the Rings. I don't know why, but I just didn't. I don't like the Game of Thrones, and I don't know. I just funny.
Nathan's
No,
a big
you're
nerd
pretty-
and loves Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lord of the
Now the
Rings
one I
great.
don't like that he watches is Star Wars. I am
know,
not a
I love
Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Yoda.
Yep. Yoda.
Not a
Yeah.
big fan.
Yeah, I can every year, maybe every year and a half, I go through a couple week phase where I'll marathon them, and it's cool that
Drove
they've
me crazy.
and it's cool that they've expanded with the different movies. It doesn't matter. You can say what you want about the Star Wars movies. They're Star Wars. I enjoy them, no matter how poorly they are, whatever you want to say about them. But to watch them chronologically in the story, the way they're written, not necessarily the year they came out, but the way they're written and the way you're supposed to watch them is so much fun. So every about year and a half, 2 years, I'll do a 2-week marathon and watch all of them.
Star Wars, back when Star Wars, the original Star Wars came out,
It's actually episode 6.
it was very graphic for its time. I mean, very the actual making of the show, movie, whatever, because that came out way back when I was a kid, 100 years ago. So you got to figure the animation and the what, I don't know the terms, but I think it was very advanced for the time back then.
It was. George Lucas did an amazing job with those films for that time.
Yeah.
But now with the technology advances and the graphics and all that.
Sure.
One thing I don't like is that they took the original 3 films and then updated them, remastered them, and then added some more effects and changed some effects or whatever. I still have the original on VHS. I don't know if the VHSs would actually ever work, but I still have the original VHSs, and so it's fun to watch. Or it's if they would work and you go back and watch the originals, and then you see what they changed and added in and stuff. It's fun.
You know who's the goat of all of that though? Because it's not changed in any movie. Whoever made the sounds for the TIE fighters,
Yeah,
the lightsabers, and the pistol shooters.
yeah, the blasters.
You don't have to even see it. If
You know what
hear
it is.
You know what it is.
Yep.
And it's been like that and never changed throughout every single movie. It's the exact same sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
So, what about the Grammys?
I
know-
just get ready to say, did you guys see? I'll tell you.
I've only seen
Grammys,
pictures. I
no.
didn't watch the
I
Grammys.
don't
I've only
watch the
seen
Grammys
pieces
either,
of it.
but I've seen pictures. The one thing I
yeah.
want to say very first off is the dress code for any award show has become porn. It is
Oh.
nothing.
It's not even
but
soft.
It's
It's bad.
It's right. It's
No
not
pun
soft
intended.
porn. It is porn because all you see every lady now, not the men so much, but ladies, they leave nothing to desire or imagination. And I seen pictures from this past Grammy show. Heidi Klum looked like, and Heidi Klum, if you don't know who she is a top famous model back in the day, but she still is now for her age. And I mean, she's a beautiful lady, but very tacky. And her outfit snapped together. It's hard plastic. It was formed to her body where it showed. I never knew somebody's nipples could erect that long and that hard. I mean, to tell you, they were built in. And every curve, I mean, her butt, everything. I mean, it was horrible.
Okay, well that one's not the
then-
worst.
Then you've got, I don't know even who that was, that her dress didn't even start. It clipped on. And that's basically it. A sheer thin piece of fabric that clipped on at her breast.
But remember, and this is something to think about, they do that for a reason.
Kids watch that show.
No, they do that for a reason.
Here we go.
Because, no, listen, let me make this point. They do it for a reason. Yeah, they do it for a reason because guess what? You're
I've seen
talking
it.
about
I
them.
know, I
You're
know.
talking about them.
I'm
They
not
do it
saying
for
their
that
name,
reason.
But I don't know her. I don't know her at all. And I
Right.
don't care to know
But
her.
you're talking about them, and that's the whole reason why they do it. It's the shock value. It's
The only way I know Heidi Klum is
Chappelle
because
Rowan.
of Project Runway. I used to watch Project Runway all the time because I like the creativeness of it. But it's just
I mean,
I
it's
don't
become
watch
a
shows.
lingerie. Like if you
No,
look
it's
at all,
become
it's
porn.
like, I mean, it is downright like a lot of it is a lot of like lingerie.
And why
almost stuff.
why did we lose our filters? Why are the producers and why? I mean, I get that it's all for the clicks and it's all for the talk about, but there still should be morals and values. There should be censorship as far as this is supposed to be a family show. You
But
know,
why is
It's
Grammys a
live
family
TV.
show?
It should be a family show, but it is live TV, so
Right.
anybody can watch it. But it's kind of like, you know, back when we were kids, Dirty Dancing was a rated R movie.
absolutely.
It would not. It is no longer considered rated R. I mean, I would
Nobody puts baby
maybe
in the corner.
PG. It's maybe rated PG now.
For some reason, I always think of them carrying watermelons in that movie. I don't know why I think of that scene.
our culture has become so desensitized, and they keep pushing that agenda further and further and further, and that's not okay because our kids are being exposed to that
Right.
And
consistently.
desensitized, and yes.
Correct. That goes a whole.
It's
nother
just
span.
wrong. It's wrong on what I mean, I'm the first one to say I don't like censorship, but there's a certain point that becomes tacky and there needs to be censorship, I guess. I don't know, but what they wear is absolute, and it's any show. It's any award show that is coming out on the red carpet.
I mean, think about
It's
when we were
horrible.
kids.
But
We had scrambled channels, and
Yeah.
it was soft. I guess it'd be considered the soft porn, but remember scrambled
I,
channels.
we're probably going to get like copyright stricken and all,
Probably.
or like strut, or like
we
whatever.
might. I'm sorry,
I have
but it's
Just
like
call it corn,
I have,
porn.
I have an easy solution for it.
Don't watch it.
right?
No,
Oh.
make it like boxing pay-per-view. Only has to be 99 cents.
I agree.
But you have to
Yeah.
have a credit card in order to do
True.
it, which then makes the parent have
That
to put
makes
that in,
sense.
and then there you go. You
And then they can make a
That
little
way-
more money doing that too.
yeah, that way it's not like saying you can't do this. It's hey, there is going to be parental oversight if
Yeah.
you watch this. It's
Why
not
can't
gonna
we
be
go
that flick
back
through
to
the TV.
that? That makes sense. I mean, like, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. That's just like I said, the scrambled channels. It'd be scrambled until you paid for it,
Mm-hmm.
so you couldn't
Or
really.
until you
No,
figured
not
out how to-
not until you use some rabbit ears. Like I don't
Aluminum
know. I don't know.
foil, rabbit ears.
You could
and
get
hold each other's
you could
hand.
get a really techful when it comes to rabbit ears and scrambled channels. Just saying.
Oh,
But I don't know.
yeah,
That's what I
back
heard.
then.
That's what I heard back then.
I could go down a whole thing about all that, but
Yeah.
we need to move on.
Well, topic of the day. Last week we talked about how a buyer's agent made their paycheck. If you're interested in that, go ahead and catch that video on our YouTube channel, Cavin's Realty Group, and just see how a buyer's agent makes their money. Today we're going to expand over on the client side a little bit and talk about first-time home buyers and what that all entails. So we're going to get the prospect of some buyer agents, and then we're going to get the prospect of the lender as well on this. So take it away, panel.
First time home buyers. Oh, you just talking about first time home buyers.
Well,
So.
I mean, let's start with the fun stuff. I think one of the things that people don't realize is that every state has their own setup to help first-time home buyers with their first purchase, whether it be down payment assistance, closing cost assistance. It all goes on top of your normal loans. And one of the cool things that Tennessee allows is you can still utilize their first-time home buyer platform, even if you were a previous homeowner, if you're moving to a targeted area, or if you're a veteran that's moving into the state of Tennessee. So, you get PCS or moved for the job from, say, California, and you had a home and you moved to Tennessee, you can still utilize the first-time home buyers platform as a veteran. They've got some extra incentives also for your heroes. So your paramedics, your firefighters, your police officers, nurses, teachers, much better rates than what are generally standard out there at no cost to you, where the rest of the community is having to use more money in order to get that far down in today's world. I think it's a great thing to be able to get there, and they're not really stringent. I mean, a 640 credit score is really not asking a lot when you're giving so much away. Some have option for a second plus mortgage to cover stuff, so that would be up to $15,000 or 5% of the sales price, and others a $6,000 forgivable grant. After 10, 15 years in the home, you don't own any responsibility at $6K. So out here where we are, you can utilize a USDA loan, the forgivable $6K, get maybe a 1% seller credit, 1.5% seller credit, and you're basically moving into the home for zero out of pocket. I mean, it's a really, really good way to establish home ownership and to start gaining that wealth under your name versus somebody else's.
And if we, I've been very, very good. Well, not very good, but very lucky at times that the amount that we asked for the sellers to pay, we didn't use it all, and my buyers walked away with a check, a little small little check, and it was like, it's not a great big amount, but it's enough, sometimes to help pay for maybe a U-Haul, or get utilities turned on. I mean. So I think that's very helpful too.
Some of the other things that I've seen utilized with that when there's an excess of money is the comfort of having a 2-year home warranty, which are a little bit more pricey than the 1 year, but you get your first 2 years with a huge protection on something taking place that you weren't maybe paying attention to or weren't used to the general maintenance of it because you're a first-time home buyer.
Right.
To have that security as like an extra insurance policy that was just paid through the transaction, not out of your pocket, it's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
The other thing is a lot of times that extra money buys down the points,
Absolutely.
and that way then their interest rate points are bought down to where they don't have to pay such a high interest rate. So that always helps as well.
I think it depends on what your plan is. If you're going to buy your points down, I think if you're planning on staying in that home for a while, then it's worth it. But if in the next 5 years, you're going to have to make a move for whatever reason, like, this house is not like you buy a little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and then you decide to have, you decide to grow your family and you have a couple of kids and that you need to, you're going to go further. I wouldn't necessarily use the points as buying down my points is maybe using it toward other things.
We make sure to go through the math on that.
Yeah.
Right.
So, if it's going to cost you $5,000 to get, say, a quarter point, half point lower on your interest rate, if you're only saving $25 a month,
Right.
you have to go through how many months to recoup that
recoup
$5,000
Right.
at $25 a month? You might as well keep that in your bank account
Correct.
and offset that higher payment than to put it towards that. So we kind of look at that and just make sure that, the right steps that we take are the best financial choice. And if
And
we need to, we put a game plan in place for that. I mean, how awesome would it be to take that $5,000 and put it into a 6% high interest
Correct.
yield checking account and let it make money for you?
Right. And see, that's what I think people get so hung up on interest rates and focus so much on interest rates. If they would just kind of think things through a little bit different and what your goal is for the future. Is this going to be your forever home, or is it just going to be a temporary home because you're a first time home buyer? And I don't think people think that through. They just get so hung up on, oh my gosh, the interest rates are,
They
6%.
They make more though on the other end. They have a cheaper interest rate from the get go. Then they're paying more towards the principal. So when they do sell that house, they are making more money on that end.
They
So-
can too, but then you've also got where if you instead of paying that extra $5,000 towards that buy down, like he said, put it into a high yield account, and you're going to make more money.
I don't know.
So
I don't know if I agree with that.
I've got some interesting math for you. So
Uh-oh,
everybody
we're doing math.
everybody knows that it's a good idea to be in a 401k or an IRA. Plan for your future.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be money that grows on your money, compound interest. So if let's just say 10% is what you would gain on your money inside of an IRA, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
10% year over year. If you took $10,000 and you bought a $100,000 house, so 10% into it, those houses are generally gaining at 3%. That means your whole house value, $100,000, made $3,000. So your $10,000 investment made now $3,000. That's 30% rate of return.
Right.
Housing can compound your wealth much faster than the stock market.
Oh, yeah.
Or savings or bank. I mean, you'll make more money.
A lot of your wealthy people, they distribute their wealth in different places. A lot of them, of course, will always be number one bucket. It's going to be real estate. And then they're going to go into other aspects of it, stock market, mutual funds, those kinds of things, stocks, bonds, all that. So I think if you get a good financial advisor to point you in the right direction, that would be great. Do you know anybody that's a good financial advisor?
I sell money.
You're just a lender. I mean, you sell money.
I know a couple of people that I trust to advise appropriately. But the number one thing is that if you have any fear or any reserve about buying a home, you're not ready for a financial planner.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, taking the conversation back to the first time home buyer, not necessarily investing and all that.
I forgot that's the topic.
So first time home buying, who qualifies, who will qualify? How do you get qualified? What's that process?
So the qualification is simple. It's just like a standard loan, because the first time home buyers platform, THDA, Tennessee Housing Development Association, is just support on the standard loans you've all heard about: conventional, FHA, VA, USDA. There's nothing different. They've added something on top of that. So as long as you have a minimum credit score of 640 and you can afford from a debt to income perspective, just like any other loan, you would have those resources available to you. It's not anything different or anything more challenging to get approved. The only add-on is that there's a class from the time that you ratify under contract, you've won a home, to take a quick class that just talks about basic finances to help out and ensure that the education is there so that you don't walk into simple hurdles that you could have been educated before. The class is not hard. It's not rocket science. It's just a qualification in order to have those resources. So it's a very,
And it's
very
an
easy
online
process.
class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like an in-person
Now,
class.
it's true that if you've bought a home in the past, you're able and eligible to use the first-time home buyer experience as well, as long as you haven't owned a primary residence within the past 3 years. Is that accurate?
That is correct. So if you have not been on ownership for a property where it was your primary residence in the last 3 years, you are re-eligible as a first-time home buyer again. That is the qualifying number. You can have property that you've owned. Say your grandfather died and left you a farm in Missouri. You're on title now. You have ownership and property, but because you've not utilized that as your primary residence, you are still eligible for the first-time home buyers platform.
Well, there you go.
What about talk about DTI and explain a little bit about percentages and what it actually means.
Sure. DTI is how we look at your affordability and ability to repay the loan. We take into account everything that's on your credit that you have monthly obligations for, and then what the proposed mortgage is going to be, and we qualify that against how much income do you bring in. So what is your debt to income? Tennessee Housing Development Association's just slightly more restrictive, so they're maxed back in debt to income ratio, meaning all things considered, if you won that home and you got a loan, is 45%. So we're talking about 45% of your gross income will take care of the home and anything that's on your credit currently. Some of the other loans go a little bit higher, but they don't allow any type of first-time home buyer support. So it's kind of keeping you in a very good position so that you don't feel house broke.
I seen a post yesterday when I was scrolling through. Some girl was wanting to buy. She was trying to buy a house, and she was all excited. She's been showing pictures and stuff, and then she just posted yesterday that she can't because her DTI is too high. So explain a little bit more detail about DTI it being too high, your debt to income being too high, because you have to have a certain percentage left over.
Correct. So your debt to income ratio being too high means that you're over the threshold for it not to be a financial strain on you. It would be, you could have credit cards, student loans, vehicle payments. These are all things that you want to be conscious of. I know the vehicle is beautiful and whatnot, but a $900 a month vehicle
I have
payment,
one that's paying over $1,000 a month.
and so we look at that. Let's just say you're bringing in $3,000 a month gross income. 50% of that would be $1,500. So you can afford $1,500 for the home and for any of the other things that are on credit. Now, we don't care about other things that are on credit. We don't care about your gas bill, your grocery bill, anything like that. Your actual credit obligations. So that situation would be that there are a lot of other things that are taxing her finances because it's already on credit. You've already pulled credit. That's one of the things that getting with a lender and an agent and putting a plan in place can help you out and be more successful, because we put that plan in place. Hey, these are the two things that are hurting your debt to income ratio the most. Let's focus on paying those down while we get you into the timeline of buying a home. If you reach out a month and a half before your lease is up, and those are the situations, you're more than likely going to be staying in place.
Mm-hmm. You need a what? I guess reach out. How many months ahead of time do you think if you're renting?
As far as you can.
I've always said 6 months is a good starting point just to take a peek, soft pull, understand what's going on, and hopefully you get the green light, thumbs up, you're doing great. That way, the next 6 months, if you're already in that position for the size home that you're looking for, all we're looking to do is improve your situation, whether it be, hey, this is where I would pay off, or hey, this is what I would save for being able to handle your closing costs, just in the event that you don't get any type of support from the seller or things of that nature. Or if you wanted to slightly bump your goal up a little bit and buy a little bit bigger of a house within that 6 months, you have a plan in place already. And we may be just talking 5 months after that, a month before it's time, and really getting things going. But at least you know that you had time to work on the things versus being put up against the wall with a rush timeline, like having them decide, do I renew my lease or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
And
about
that's not looking at houses 6 months ahead of time.
no?
That's not doing that. What that means is you give us a call. We connect you with Kyle, or if you have a lender of your choice, get with that lender 5 or 6 months ahead of time, because you really need to see what you look like on paper. What you think you look like may not be what you look like on paper. So there's a big
Credit Karma isn't always the most
yes,
accurate.
all
No.
of those places that you can pay for online or go for free or whatever, and you look at your credit score, I guarantee you that is not your credit score. The Discover bill, put your credit score on there. I mean, lots of people put your credit score, but that's not your credit score. It won't be the same. I can almost guarantee that. I don't know of any other way to get your true credit score is from a lender. How else do you get your true credit score if you're not?
You get one free one a year.
You can
Yeah.
pay,
But
you-
is that your score or is that
it's-
just
it's-
your
that's not-
report?
that's just a standard score. So there's scores and then there's
Right.
FICO scores. FICO scores are what we're using. It's a little bit more of a stringent policy on how they calculate your credit score. You can sometimes pay for that through the direct bureaus, but you're going to pay to get more accuracy. That's kind of got to understand that if you're getting something for free,
Right. You pay for what you get.
You pay for what you get.
Yeah.
So if you go to the bureaus yourself and actually pay for their services to get those scores, you'll get it, but you're only going to get that one bureau score. That
Right,
one
you gotta do
bureau
all
is not-
three.
You got to do all three. So it's far easier to just do a quick soft pull with a lender. It doesn't cost you anything. Put a game plan in place and execute your goal.
Now, let's
Well-
say they don't have credit.
So THDA allows for no credit. Very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look for a 12-month history of rental. Got to ensure that the biggest bill of your life you've paid on time the last 12 months. So if you are in a home that your family owns, we're going to require 12 bank statements in order to show that you paid it on time. If you work through a landlord like CRG and whatnot, we're going to request from them to ensure that you've done it for 12 months. Then we'll look at two other credit lines that do not, well, two other bills that you pay for the last 12 months that do not show up on credit, i.e. your cell phone bill, your car insurance, Netflix, two other accounts to supplement that, and you will default at a 640 credit score. So no scores do not mean that you do not get the eligibility for home buying. It just means we have a couple other hoops to build up the profile of your credit because you're not reporting anything to the credit bureaus.
Okay, say that somebody's in that situation. They paid their rent on time, other than they had a couple weeks of issues, and they were 2 weeks behind. But then they call it back up right away. How much does that affect that decision? If they had like one late payment,
That's a situational thing. And with approval from the landlord to be that 2 weeks late, the landlord should be saying and giving us they weren't late. We made an agreement that they could go 2 months behind. It's when you are 30 days plus late and the landlord was intending to get their payment, you didn't communicate with them, didn't put any plan in place. That looks a little bit more risky.
And
So
then,
it's really more situational because we get it. I've had people that got into a car accident and they were in the hospital for 8-9 days and didn't have access to a computer to make their payment. That's a reasonable reason why you were 7,
Right.
8, 9 days late on your rent payment is because you got into a car accident.
Right.
You know,
Or the bank put in the wrong card number
that too.
and
Seen that happen.
made you 3 months behind on your truck payment.
Oh no. So, let's just say, what
experience?
about self-employment? What if they're self-employed?
Self-employed borrowers are okay. We do need a 2-year work history, at least, to do an average of what you've been
What
filing
does
on
that
your
mean?
taxes.
2 years of tax returns.
2 years of tax returns, because you can make $100,000, say, building fences. But if you wrote off everything on your taxes and said, I had these expenses, this expense, this expense, this expense, so my tax liability is lower, which is what most CPAs and tax professionals do for you.
right?
They try to save you from the man. Then on paper, you look like you only made $10,000 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that means that you have less than $1,000 worth of qualified income. Now, one of the cool things that has just changed, if you've owned a business for 5 years or more, we can actually take 1 year's average of your income. So if you had a stellar year, your business finally took off, we're only going to take the previous year's tax filings, and that will be your qualified income. We will not look back at 2 years. And that's a new thing that Freddie has changed their rules on. Fannie does not allow that, but Freddie does, which is a very beneficial thing for somebody who's had a developing business and finally broke through that tier of success. They can now go qualify for more of a home.
So is
That's
there
great.
another option is there another option besides using their taxes? So like if they do write off everything and for their taxes and then so they don't show that they make a whole lot, is there another way around that?
There is, but we lose the first time home buyer support with Tennessee.
Okay.
So you have 1099 loans, bank statement loans, and other ways of qualifying it. It just doesn't fit the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines. They're still great conventional mortgages, but they're going to have some different stipulations because of the risk of qualifying your income. But it is possible. We even do asset depletion. I've had many individuals that wanted to move to their forever home, but they had already gotten themselves into a point where they were only drawing Social Security, but yet they have these massive IRAs, 401 TSPs from the time that they did work. They don't have to liquidate. They just have to have 100 and I think 25% of what their purchase price is, have a meaningful down payment, and they qualify whether they're making draws on those accounts or not yet. So we
Kind of
know-
having it in reserved.
we know that they're going to be able to draw from that. We know that they're going to be able to do so for the home, but from a debt to income perspective, we're looking at offsetting this mortgage, but they're only collecting these meaningless IRS Social Security checks that aren't really paying more than your Verizon bill.
Yeah.
Or half your grocery bill.
Yeah, or half your grocery bill. Yeah, exactly. Half.
There won't be anything there by the time we get to be adults. I mean, get to be
There
retirement.
definitely
Not
needs to be
adults, but
restructuring,
retirement.
but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
So first time home buyers from a agent perspective, what should we be advising our clients to do?
They're my favorite. I love first time home buyers. But the very first thing obviously is to get with a lender. We've got to know where you're at. We have to. Because we can't just start shopping for houses. You fall in love with it and then we can't move. You can't do anything.
You
And so
don't know what
waste
type
it.
of loan you're going to get.
Yeah, I have to know what type of house. Like if you only qualify for a $150,000 loan, well, we know majority of houses that are $150,000 are very much a work in
Fixer-uppers.
progress. So there's a lot of equity a lot of sweat equity you're going to have put into that. So I think we just have to look at where they're at in the big picture. And then once we know where they're at financially, then we can start house shopping.
It's important for once we get the go from the lender to know what type of house, because not only do the first time home buyers have to qualify, so does that house.
Yes.
You know, because the banks, lenders, underwriters, they all have checklists. And it's because they want to make sure that they're making a great investment. They are giving you the money, but if you don't pay, you don't stay, and they take it back. And so when they take it back,
That's the new CRG motto.
when they take it back, then they have to be able to sell it to recoup their monies. And so it makes sense.
And as agents, we have a pretty good eye of knowing, because going through these loans and these transactions, when we're looking at houses, we can tend to, we're not inspectors, just full disclosure, we're not inspectors, we're not appraisers or anything, but we can look through and look at certain things and know if this is going to pass or not, really.
If there's
So-
chippy pilly paint, okay, that's gonna be fixed. If there's a hole in the window, if there's a hole in the floor, we're like, okay, those things have to be repaired before we can even close.
And that's part of the negotiation process.
Yes.
So
And sometimes we can get that to go through. But then there's times where the seller is like, I can't put one penny into this house. I do not have the health or the money to be able to hire somebody to do that. So I've had people and buyers before to go in knowing it's at their own risk to go in and make these repairs just to get it to go conventional loan. Because a lot of those houses that have those kinds of repairs are only usually going to go conventional, because it has to be, I mean, like almost a really good solid house for it to go FHA, USDA, or VA.
So that she just brought up a good point. The house and knowing what you can and can't finance is a huge thing to know up front. And the reason for that is, like, for instance, USDA is very stringent on mobile homes or manufactured homes, double wide, single wide, triple wide. All those have different rules and regs to them. So if you walk into the situation saying, hey, I've read about this USDA loan, I really want to get this 0% down loan, and then you go out and look at a home, you may find out that that manufacturer does not qualify for USDA. And so here it is. All the other options, conventional and FHA, have a down payment requirement where you were not planning on bringing a down payment. So if we could structure ahead of time and know that this is the type of home, this is the type of and the amount of land that you're looking for, we may know up front that USDA does not work for your situation. We really need to find the qualifications for conventional and FHA and let you understand what that budget now looks like before you fall in love with the home.
Another thing with USDA, it also matters with location. Not all
Yes.
locations are the same. So, like parts of Florence, Alabama, they are not USDA approved. But if you go out just a little bit, like say Zip City or somewhere like that, a lot of times they are USDA approved. Here, most of Lawrence County, I think all of Lawrence County is USDA. But like then you should get up to Murray County, we lose that ability.
There's some areas in Murray County that
Right, that are still considered, because those are considered rural. They're trying to bring people into those communities to build it bigger. That's the whole point of it being USDA. Those are rural areas to bring in people. It's not necessarily just for helping people with a no down payment. They're trying to bring in communities.
And you've got to be careful with that. I've watched too many in like Huntsville area. They've got a huge booming developments all around there, and the algorithms to create whether it's considered rural or not have literally changed in a 30-60 day period.
I could see that
being on the edge of it because of the developments and how much home ownership is in that area. And I think we're going to probably see the same thing from like a Cool Springs down south as well, where if you're kind of wanting to be around that edge area, get it in as soon as you can, because there is a chance as more developments go up, more homes close and whatnot, that is no longer considered rural. It'll be a little bit further south.
Yep. I think that's kind of like Columbia as well. If you'll go just
Columbia,
out, Columbia is going to not be in the USDA, but if you'll go outside of Columbia, say like maybe Chapel Hill, I think Chapel Hill falls into that. So you just got to go out just a little bit further to be able to get those loans. So I think that's where it's really important as an agent to know. And sometimes I have to call the lender and be like, hey, here's the address. They really are interested in this house. Will it go USDA? And they can pull it up.
there's zip code maps.
I know I've pulled it up before too, but when we was dealing with Florence, Alabama, they were it wasn't just zip codes. It got
That's
so close
Narrowed.
on the line. We were having to literally look at streets, and like a friend of mine, she bought a house literally 1 or 2 blocks away. It began USDA, and because they fell within that, they had to go FHA. So then they still wanted the house, but then they had to have a substantial down payment.
This sounds like a lot, but really getting with the right agent and the right lender, these are the things that you're paying us to do, is to look
Correct.
out for your best interest, do this investigative work, and ensure that we're able to do what your goal is. And if not, we put a different plan in place to get you to that goal.
And that's the reason why
Absolutely.
we're full-time agents and not part-time. That makes a big
That's
difference, because
huge.
we know, I mean, I know she's retired, but she has 20 plus years of doing this. She has the knowledge.
Pretty old.
She's back when history was now.
What was the Civil War
Back when the
like?
textbooks were being written.
Chalkboard.
You know, I remember asking my mom, I was like, so what was the Civil War like? When I was little. I didn't know any better. Talk about a look I got.
Right. Well, do we have any listings? I do have a few rental properties, but anybody have any listings or anything?
We have Buttermilk Ridge. It is an 18-acre farmland. It's phenomenal. The house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's a little unusual. I actually had somebody that really does like it, but they're looking at multiple homes, so we know how that goes. There's lots of competition out there. Look online for that. We've got videos on YouTube.
What's the address on that one? You said
9680 Buttermilk Ridge.
9860 Buttermilk Ridge. I'm gonna have to check that out.
9680
Excuse me, 9680.
Yeah.
Buttermilk Ridge.
I am dyslexic.
And so there's like, there's a 360 walkthrough. Like you can literally walk through the entire house.
I love those.
Yeah.
And then of course we have the video. We have drone footage. It's cool. We have a great photographer. We have a little house down on Holly Creek in Iron City. It is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom for $90,000. I think that's right.
Mhm.
94.
94.9.
I can't remember. We just reduced the price. So I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, 94.9. It does have a water feature on there. It does have a little
creek
creek
behind it.
behind it, enough to play in.
Oh
you know,
yeah, kids
plenty.
would love that.
I mean, you're not going to float down it.
And that's going to be cheaper
But-
than rental. And so your kids have a nice little backyard to play in. It's just
It's
a
an
small
acre
little
of land.
two-bedroom. Yeah, it's a little
Acre
acre of
land.
land out in the country.
A creek on the
Buttermilk
property.
Ridge. Go back to it real quick. We did reduce the price to $425.
Okay, good.
Seller is very motivated.
Did-
I have one over in Waynesboro too. It's a TLC home. It has great bones. Does need a little bit of work.
Okay.
Right now, we have it listed at $115.
I do have some rental properties available. I have a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and a couple 2-bedroom, 1-baths, apartments and homes. Give me a shout. Our website is under maintenance right now. We kind of have the website up and going, but we're getting ready to do a big overhaul on that. So then we'll be able to just send you a link, and you can see all the available properties all in one stop shop. So give me a shout, and I'll be more than happy to guide you on what is available and how you can get approved for a rental. But on that note, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and we never did numbers today. So
What do the numbers look like?
now, real quick, we can't do any fantastic music or anything. The music that we were playing for a while was fine, and then now all of a sudden they decided to copyright strike it.
It's just
You
numbers
need
with
your
no
own
music.
song.
yeah.
You need to write your own song.
We're working on that to get that in place,
Yeah,
along with
I'll
some
let-
intros and outros. Yeah. That sounded like
Go at it.
Ghostbusters.
I know. All right. Numbers aren't sexy, but they do tell a story. And they kind of have been telling the same consistent story for I'd say almost 20 months. But anyway, we have 189 listings right now currently for sale with an average list price of $403,681, which makes it about $212 a square. Right now, average day on the market's 124. So that's telling you that the market has, slowed down. Holidays, Christmas, winter, that whole gamut. Coming soon, we got one coming soon, which is a $558,900, which is about $180 a square. We have under contract showing. The buyers and the sellers are the seller is permitting additional showings, maybe backup offers. We have 4 of those with an average list price of $294,500. Gives it about 180 a square. Right now, those have been on the market for an average of 121 days. Under contract not showing. That means we have happy buyer, happy seller, and we're headed to close. We have 2 of those with an average list price of $224,450. Met about 129 a square foot. And from the time it went to, the sign in the yard until went under contract was 210 days. Tells you how slow we are right now. We had 1 expired and no canceled. And for this particular week, which was the 25th through the 1st, we had 1 closing, and it was a 419,000 with 146 a square. The number I tell everybody.
One closing.
One.
One closing.
One close. It's because we've had all that ice.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Oh,
place
that's
is
true.
closed.
Oh, that's true.
And the number I tell everybody to pay attention to is the percentage of what the seller is getting as far as list price and sold. That's 97.85. And so that was a little lower than what we're running on average. From the time I put the sign in the yard till we went to close took 84 days. From the time we went under from the time we put the sign in the yard till we went under contract took 84 days. From the time we went under contract till we went to close took 58 days. So all in all, start to finish was about 142 days. What I wanted to do too is just to kind of keep a running track. So far, 2026, from January 1 until yesterday, we've had 17 closings in Lawrence County. with an average list price of $291,779, which gives it 245 a square. And the average percentage that I felt was low. The average percentage the seller is getting is 97.73%, which is more, it's lower than it's been in a while. And from the time on we put the sign in the yard till we went under contract took 79 days. From the time we went under contract till we went to close took 36. All in all, about 115 days.
Question. The list to sales price, do you think that is because the homes lost value?
We had negotiation with an agent, the two agents, and it just depends
People
on
finally needing to sell, and they've got to make that move. They are desperate to finally sell, so they're working with
right
people.
now. If you are a buyer and you are wanting to buy, I'm telling you right now is the time to do it, because last Saturday I showed 6 houses. Every one of those listing agents have called. Are your buyers interested? My seller is willing to do whatever.
Yes,
Are you
there
wanting
you
to
go.
buy?
Yep.
Let me know what we can do. We've got one that is so interested in selling their house that they are going to look at getting a contractor to move a door to make it work for the buyers, and they're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And we haven't even negotiated anything.
So
So-
are we in a buyer's market then?
I still say we're in a no market.
Okay.
So the percentage, 97 and some change.
Right. 90.
Let's just go ahead and round that off. You could get 2%. If you did a USDA loan as a first-time home buyer and did the forgivable $6,000, you don't even need that full 2%. And you're walking to the table with zero money out of pocket to buy a home. Anything that's extra on that can be utilized for a home warranty or anything like that. This is the perfect time as a first-time home buyer to purchase.
There you
There's a
go.
lot of homes on the market. There's a lot of homes that have been on the market. And sellers right now are jumping at the bit to get their house sold. So it is a great time.
And just keep in mind too, because we have like a lot of inventory, you got a lot to choose from. But as we get closer to spring, you as a buyer is going to have more competition.
Right.
Absolutely.
We're going to have more houses perhaps on the market.
But there's going to be a
But
lot more
there's going to
people.
be a lot more buyers.
Yeah.
And so what that means is multiple offers, higher offers, sellers dictating what they're going to sell their house. Right now, sellers are so negotiable. They really need and want to sell their house.
If you're the type of person, and I've heard this a lot, well, I'm just looking for a deal.
Now's the time.
Now is time to get those deals. Now is the time that the sellers are willing to negotiate. Sellers are willing to put up money for certain things. Sellers are willing to do
Make
more.
alterations,
Right.
whatever.
You know,
So
I
if
had one-
if you're that person that is looking for that deal, because I hear that, I'm just looking for a deal. Well, the deals are out there. Come get them.
You know, I had one right now that they were, because the person, they thought, because we're waiting on a specific kind of income to come in, and to show that they were willing to rent this house to this person.
Just to cover some expenses,
Just to cover
yeah.
their expenses, because they'd already moved out. To cover their expenses, rent it to him, and us close a few months from now.
Yeah.
That's how much
That's
sellers.
some negotiation right there.
That's how much sellers are willing. A lot of sellers are like, "I'll do whatever it takes." That is the market we're in right now. So I do think
And
that
that
it's a
will last.
possibility.
I say it'll last until
Yeah.
maybe
March.
maybe. And then we're going to get right into our spring market.
Yes.
More listings on, more buyers on, and this opportunity that we have right now will be gone till next year.
Yeah. Think about like around that time you transition your kids in school districts.
Right.
I guarantee you right now there are a ton of Virginians ready to leave Virginia after this most recent election and stuff that's going on.
Right.
So expect for there to be more migration to Tennessee and more common sense things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're seeing that still. We still see that. Not as much as we did back when COVID was going on and they were able to take their
They were
jobs
all coming
remotely.
from California.
We did get a lot of people here from California.
In New York.
And New York. I've moved people here from California and New York, and some have actually went back because a lot of it they're having to go back because of their jobs not being remote anymore. But then you get still a lot of people who are still doing remote, and then some people's like, I ain't going back. I am not, and they've become just as country and Tennessean as anybody else.
Well, any last words on topic today? Any last words?
Oh,
in
did
general?
you do interest rates? Does anybody have interest rates?
I was told not to do them. No
And
more.
you forgot to tell Kyle.
So,
interest
yep,
rates?
my apologies.
No,
So,
no, that's my fault.
off the top of my head right now, you're probably looking at Homes for Heroes with THDA at about a 5.625, 6.125 for the Freddie Mac conventional options. So FHA, USDA, and VA right around 5.625. Your 30 years about 6.17 for conventional. 15-year though 5.76. So being able to get out of that home a little bit quicker. You're probably looking at slightly a little bit less for your FHA being closer to the 5.875 to 5.625. And VA is going to be very representative of that as well.
There you
And those numbers are brought to you by Mortgage News Daily.
go. Are you getting paid for them or something?
No, I just want people
Just-
to know
Oh,
Lame.
okay.
that
Fair
it's
enough.
not just made up numbers and they can look for themselves. But yeah, no, I don't get paid.
Okay.
And they're just because they're
It's a disclosure.
Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough.
It follows my marketing guidelines by saying who it is. Don't have to say PR at that point.
right. Right.
All right. Well,
I got to get to Loretta. I got to go take our daughter to school. School was late.
school's late today, so I guess everybody say bye.
Oh, well, the groundhog didn't see their shadow, or the groundhog did see their shadow. So we've got
Six more weeks of winter.
I figured out
Bleh.
why the weathermen can be inaccurate so often. It's because they rely on a little rat to see the shadow. Like, if this is how we're judging weather, then we're not doing it right.
Right.
A girl, real quick, a girl that I'm friends with, she did a chat GPT of and it was cooking, and it was a cookbook, and it was the groundhog and her cooking the groundhog.
I bet it's tough. I bet it's
All
tough.
right.
All right. Well, everybody say bye. Everybody have a great weekend.
Bye.